Coming to you live on this Sunday evening here at Eddie West Field. It's Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from, as we had a pretty cool moment down at the field just minutes ago, as it was Anthony White II who was the honorary captain for today's game, for today's coin toss, as Aaron Hotchkiss kicks it off for the Dons. The Roadrunners will return, heading from right to left. It's the receiver who retakes it on the 21 and gets pushed out of bounds after a gain of 4. That's Alvaro Zatino. There's a flag thrown in the middle of the field at the 34-yard line. But it was Anthony White II who was the honorary captain for today's coin toss, as head coach Anthony White unfortunately can't be with the team today. We ask you, those who are tuning in at home, to keep the White family in your thoughts, as he is facing a tough battle with cancer. Nonetheless, the Dons have had a tremendous season, one of their best under White's helm. They finished the regular season with an 8-2 record, are looking to get their first 9-win season in over a decade. The last time they had 8 wins in a season was back in 2012. That was also the last time they won a bowl game. It also happened to be the Southern California Bowl, and they defeated College of the Canyons. Today, they face off a very familiar opponent, as Zamari Richardson makes a tackle for a loss of 2. Ball will be placed at the 10. It's a very familiar opponent, as the Dons did take on the Roadrunners just a weekend ago. That was 8 days ago, back on November 11th. The Dons came out victorious by a final score of 49-28, so no, it's not deja vu. These two teams are playing twice once again, as Bryson Blankenship, the quarterback, hands it off to Cannon Boswell, who shoots through the right side for a gain of 8 and gives a very manageable third down to the Roadrunners. Boswell has been one of the top running backs here in the CCCAA, or also known as the 3C2A. Currently 8th in the state with 970 rushing yards entering the season. He's a freshman running back from Salina, Utah. He's in the backfield. He takes another handoff, this time right up the middle. Met at the 22. The yard to gain was about the 22.5. That far sideline referee marks him about half a yard short. So it looks like it'll be a 4th and inches. And because the Roadrunners are so backed up in their own territory, head coach Jack Steptoe, is going to be forced to punt the ball away. Coming in to punt for the Roadrunners, standing at his own 10-yard line, is Mauricio Lopez, sophomore from Laredo, Texas. And no one deep to return, and someone on the sideline for the Dons is going to call timeout. Maybe it's because they didn't have enough players on the field, maybe some miscommunication. Nonetheless, it's the first timeout here of the evening. Again, the Dons taking on the Roadrunners here at Eddie West Field. You see the scoreboard there, 13-16 left in the first quarter. Still a scoreless game, as the Roadrunners did win the coin toss and will be receiving the opening kickoff. Their first drive was a 3-and-out. It was set up by a tremendous play by Zamari Richardson, and the reason I bring that up is because he's been one of the stars for the Dons defense this year. It's a very talented defense. There's a lot of players that you could put in as the most important, I guess you could say, a defensive MVP. Obviously, Blaise Iglesias giving pressure from the middle has been a huge part of this Don success this season, especially defensively. However, Zamari Richardson from the edge set up a 2nd down and 12 with a huge tackle for loss on Cannon Boswell on the first play that put the Roadrunners behind the 8 ball and will be forced to punt the ball away. So it's Lopez who takes the snap, punts it from his own 10. Malachi Pierce is going to watch this one go over his head, and this takes a Roadrunner bounce all the way to the 17-yard line. So a tremendous punt there by Lopez. Questionable decision there by Pierce to let it bounce. And the Roadrunners special teams does a nice job of flipping field positions. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Want to take this quick time to say thank you to our new media sponsor, Cal Empire Engineering. They have been one of the biggest supporters of Santa Ana College athletics for the last few years. They're also a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. Please visit calempire.com for more information. First play for the Dons is a swing pass to the right side to Owen Smith, the freshman running back from El Medina. Starting the game today at quarterback is Beck Moss. That was one thing I was thinking about before the game today, was who was going to start at quarterback. For much of the season, it's been Dallin Eggman, the sophomore from Utah. However, in their regular season finale, Beck Moss did have a better performance in minimal time compared to Eggman, as this is a handoff to Saucedo. It's good to see the freshman from Yorba Linda back in action after missing last week's game against College of the Desert. Going back to Moss, last Saturday, went 7 for 12 with 133 yards through the air and threw 3 touchdowns, in comparison to Dallin Eggman, who went 8 for 16, 148 total yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So a little bit more efficient performance from Moss. He gets the starting nod against the College of the Desert Roadrunners the second time through here in the Southern California Bowl. This one's going to go wide of his target. Josiah Washington was at the 40-yard line. The man in coverage for the Roadrunners was safety Calvin Miller, wearing number 14. And so it'll be 3rd and 5 coming up for the Dons. Moss is out there with Owen Smith in the backfield. Malachi Pierce is the near sideline receiver. 3 receivers over to the left. Cannon King is the far side. Roadrunners threaten to bring pressure. They back off. Pierce catches it at the 41 and stretches out all the way to the 42. It'll be enough for a first down, and the Dons are able to move the chains. So 1st and 10 coming up for the Dons. Also on the field at receiver is Amari Hart and Josiah Washington. They're both in the slot to the left of Moss. We'll get you the offensive lineman for the Dons after this play. It's Owen Smith, who maybe gets half a yard on the handoff to the right side. At left tackle, as he's been for all season, is Victor Corrales. Starting at left guard today is Evan Douglas. We're not seeing the usual Adon Aguilar. At center, Iskandar Albitar. At right guard, John Fonseca. And at right tackle is Levi Benuelos. As looks like there's some movement. Free play for the Dons. Malachi Pierce catches it and gets all the way to the 41 of the Roadrunners. So nice heads up there. Nice heads-up play there by Beck Moss to snap the ball after drawing the defense offsides. It was a free play, so regardless of what happened on the play, the Dons were going to get 5 yards at least. And so now the Dons are on the plus side of the 50. King moves from the outside receiver to the slot, and Washington moves to the outside. Just over 11 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. It's the Southern California Bowl, as the Dons will take on the Roadrunners. Second time they've played this season. It's a handoff to Smith. Smith's going to bounce it out to the left side. Lots of room for him to work with. And it's Caleb Armstrong who brings him down from behind. Also in on the tackle is Shide Elam, the corner, wearing number 31. Let's get you some of the defensive names for the Roadrunners. Big number 99, Christian Verdun, was an impact player last week when these two teams played. Also on the outside is Callum Armstrong. Is the first time we called his name. Both those two had impact games from the defensive line position last Saturday. Verdun finished with 11 tackles. One of them was for a loss. Callum Armstrong finished with 5 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 tackle for loss. Amari Hart is the motion man. Zigs back out to the right side. Moss has plenty of time. Now rolls to his right. Being chased down by Armstrong. Throws it to Hart. And Hart can't come up with the grab as it falls incomplete. That was Josiah Washington, not Amari Hart, the sophomore from Pacifica High School, the intended receiver. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Dons wearing their black uniforms, red pants, white helmets, while the Roadrunners are in their white uniforms, yellow pants, gold helmets. The sun is getting ready to set here in downtown Santa Ana. As it's an earlier kickoff time, 4 p.m. was the kickoff time today. Two running backs in the backfield, one to each side of Moss. It's a play action. Dumps it off to Owen Smith on the left side, but the Roadrunners are ready for that one. However, Smith is able to pull an escape act and get all the way to the, no, they're going to mark him down. Apparently he had a foot out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So almost a tremendous effort there by Smith, making something out of nothing. The first man to get there in on the stop was Elam, and he did enough to get Owen Smith to step out of bounds. Gain of 1 on the play. Yard to gain is the 21-yard line of the Roadrunners. So 3rd and 9 coming up for Moss, a sophomore from Irvine High School. Jackson Smith now into the game at running back on the left side. They're going to look left to King. King makes the catch. Did he get a foot in bounds? He did. They mark him out of bounds at the 19.5-yard line. Far sideline referee marks it a catch. And the Dons are able to move the chains for the 3rd time this evening. It's a very methodical first possession here for Santa Ana College. They started this possession here on the 17-yard line. It was a tremendous punt by the Roadrunners that flipped the field. However, the Dons still have been able to march all the way over and are now in red zone territory. It's another play action. Moss going to look to Pierce. Pierce wide open. That's 15 receiving touchdowns on the season for Malachi Pierce. The freshman from Edison has been an impact player much of the season for this Dons. And with 9 minutes in the first quarter, the Dons are able to strike first. It's 6-0. Looked like the corner in coverage, Fabian Garcia, was expecting some help from a safety over the top. However, no one was there. Vacated space, so easy pitch and catch from Moss to Pierce. We've seen him make some tremendous catches this season over defenders. So not sure if a safety over the top would have helped much. There is a flag on the PAT. It's an offsides penalty. The Dons will decline. So it's a 7-0 game with 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. It was a 19-yard pass from Moss to Malachi Pierce, the receiver, who not only leads the state of California with receiving touchdowns this season, but he leads the entire nation with 15 now total. And we mentioned it last week because we didn't know if it was going to be the last game here at Eddie West Field or not. But there's a lot of sophomores on this offense that the Dons will have to replace next season. And while Pierce is listed as a freshman, due to his stellar performance this season, he could potentially be moving on to the next level. As this is an onside kick to the left side. Heads up play there by a Roadrunner to grab it and started running. If Ethan Arona doesn't make that tackle at the 41, it might be 6 points for the Roadrunners. It was a short onside kick to Anthony Pickrom. He's a DB listed at 5'11", 165 pounds from Colorado Springs. And he makes the grab and was able to get a few yards after that as well. So the Dons rolling the dice here early with special teams. However, it's good field position for the Roadrunners. And Bryson Blankenship, the quarterback, a sophomore from Monroe, Washington. He has 2 receivers to each side of him. Running back in the backfield is Elias Abdullah. First time we're seeing him tonight. He played plenty of minutes last week. As it's a pitch and catch to the outside receiver. That's Burke Mickelson, a freshman from Salina, Utah. So easy pitch and catch, gain of about 5 on the first down play. Last Saturday, Blankenship and Devon Armstrong split time at quarterback as Abdullah takes his handoff on the right side, gets swung down for a gain of 2. But both Armstrong and Blankenship really couldn't do much. Didn't have terrible games, but also didn't have good games either last Saturday against Santa Ana College. The Dons defense has been rather swarming, and they like to get pressure here in these third down scenarios. It's 3rd and 3. They have to get to the 32-yard line. Blankenship now making some audibles, relaying them to his receivers over here on the far side. Keep an eye on number 11, Frankie Valentino. He's on the slot on the right side. He's their go-to guy. Bryson Blankenship steps up into the pocket, throws a laser to his outside receiver, Maldonado, and it's a touchdown. It was a post route, and Maldonado beat the corner. And just like that, the Roadrunners have responded. 7-6 is the score. It's a 35-yard touchdown from Blankenship to Dylan Maldonado. Two sophomores hooking up again, as he did much of last year as well. And it'll be Dylan Armendariz to attempt the point after. So less than a minute after the Dons scored their first touchdown of the evening, the Roadrunners responded with a touchdown of their own. 7-7 is the score. 7:46 left to go here on the scoreboard. Again, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. It's the Southern California Bowl, as both these teams are both in the American Metro Conference. And the reason they're playing each other once again here in the postseason is because both these teams defeated Glendale College earlier in the year during the preseason. So what happened is it put both Santa Ana and College of the Desert in 3rd and 4th place respectively. And so both those teams will be playing here for the Southern California Bowl, while both Chaffey and Pasadena City College will be playing this upcoming weekend for the American Division Championship. So ball's lined up at the 35. Roadrunners like to kick it from the right hash. Back deep to return is Pierce on the left side. Looks like he'll catch this one at about the 6. Fumbles it just for a second and gets all the way to the 17-yard line before he's met. Good kick coverage there. That was Calvin Miller, the first one to get there. It's actually Elijah Sadler who took that kickoff return. He was lined up on the left side. Malachi Pierce was on the right side. And that's where the Dons will start this offensive possession. And it looks like the Roadrunners were hit with a sideline warning. First one, so it's just a warning. No penalty yards will be given. The Dons will start this possession at the 18-yard line. We'll see what they could draw up here on their second offensive possession. It's Beck Moss once again, the sophomore from Irvine. Owen Smith in the backfield with Jackson Smith. Two receivers over to the left side. They're going to motion Washington in towards over the middle. It's a swing pass over to Jackson Smith. Smith bursts past the first defender and is met at the 27-yard line. Far sideline referee is going to mark him at the 28, and it'll be enough for a first down. Nice concept there as they motion the outside receiver towards the middle. He runs a short underneath route that draws a lot of the linebackers. No one keeps tabs on the running back who swings out to the left. And a nice 10-yard pickup there for the Dons offense. 1st and 10. Moss in shotgun. Two receivers now to his right. He hands it off to Owen Smith. There is a flag on the play thrown from the far sideline referee, so we'll have to wait and see what this is after a gain of 6. So it's offsides penalty on the Roadrunners. Looked like maybe someone was lined up in the neutral zone. And so with a 6-yard gain, it'll be 2nd down and 4. The Dons are actually going to accept the penalty, so it'll be 1st and 5 instead of 2nd down and 4. Last Saturday, both these teams were evenly penalized as both the Dons and Roadrunners had 9 penalties apiece. Both these teams are very similar offensively. Defensively, the Dons have the edge, and it was somewhat a close game entering half. However, in the 3rd and 4th quarter, the Dons were able to flex their muscle and pull away from the Roadrunners as Moss dumps it off to Washington, who catches it at the 43, tries to dance away from that first defender, and he can't do so. That's the third time we're calling Calvin Miller's name, as he's already making a big impact for the Roadrunners defense and special teams early. It's enough for a first down, though, as the Dons had a 1st and 5, so it's their 5th first down of the evening. Dons in no rush to call this next play. 2 receivers over to the left side. 2 running backs in the backfield. Jackson Smith on the left. He takes the handoff, goes to the right side, and gets all the way to the 48-yard line. Jackson Smith is one of many players on this roster from El Dorado High School. Smith is a sophomore running back. However, Zamir Richardson, also from El Dorado High School, is a freshman defensive end. We'll call his name plenty of times over on that side of the ball as Moss. Same formation, 2 running backs. It's Owen Smith this time. He shoots over on the left side and gets to the 45, which is enough for a Dons first down. Having no trouble moving the ball on the ground game or in the passing game to start this evening. It could be a high-scoring game. We'll see if the Roadrunners can keep pace with this Dons offense. They weren't able to do so last Saturday. The Dons did jump out to a 28-7 lead. However, right before the end of the first half, the Roadrunners are able to get a touchdown, making it 28-14 entering halftime as Moss looks deep. He has Pierce, who has a step on his defender and beats both defenders for a touchdown. That's 16 on the season for the freshman Malachi Pierce. He got past Shide Elam, and he got past Keyshawn Butler. Those are the 2 in coverage that were trying to keep stride for stride with Pierce. However, it's a touchdown, the 2nd of the evening already for Pierce and Moss. And just like that, it's a 13-7 game with 4:57 left to go in the first quarter. Pierce also serves as the holder as he is able to get a good hold down for the kicker. Aaron Hotchkiss punches it through, and it's a 14-7 game with 4:57 left to go here in the first quarter. It's the Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Again, want to say thank you to Cal Empire Engineering. They're our new media sponsor and have been one of the biggest supporters for Santa Ana College athletics the last few years. They're a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. If you're looking for more information, please visit calempire.com. That's calempire.com. Hotchkiss has this ball in the middle of the field on the 35. Last time they decided to do an onside kick over to the right side, the near sideline of the viewers. This time they pooch it, received at the 35. It was one of the big boys who receives that one, wearing number 58. That's Adrian Rabin, who also plays left guard. So not too many opportunities for a lineman to get a kickoff return. However, Rabin decides to get one there, and he gets about 5 yards, so he can definitely brag about that when he's older to his friends and eventually his kids and grandkids. 1st and 10 coming up for Blankenship and the Roadrunners. They trail 14-7. They're heading from right to left. Ball near the left hash as Boswell shoots through. However, it was a wall of Dons defenders there to meet him after a gain of 2. On the field now for the Dons, it's Zamari Richardson, Oscar Serrano, and Joseph Aborni down on the line. As they do rotate that defensive line and front 7 plenty. Looks like Dudley Messeline, Andrew Martinez, and Baden Tanakawa are the 3 linebackers, as this one is a short pass over to the left side. There's Messeline on the tackle to go along with Zier Rivas. Now checking into the game, wearing number 49 for the Dons is Deontwine Thomas. Markel Mitchell and Gabriel Magana are the two safeties. As it's another handoff to Boswell. Boswell weaves through the way through the middle and gets tackled down at the 43-yard line of the Dons. So it's enough for a first down. Nice patience there by the Roadrunner running back. Play was initially designed to go to the left side. However, he weaved over the center to the right side. Was able to pick up a few extra yards at the end of that run as well. As I mentioned, Boswell entering tonight's game was 8th in the state in rushing yards. Only played 9 games too. That game against Compton College was a forfeit. So if he had 10 games, easily could have been a 1,000-yard running back. As Blankenship throws it short over to Rivas once again. Gain of 7 on the play. 3rd and 3 coming up. 2nd and 3 coming up. As Blankenship now motions Rivas from the right to the left side. Dons make the adjustment on defense. 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. Jason Curl, the near side corner, up in press on Donovan Hartwell. It's another handoff. I believe that's 5. Nope. Well, 4 of the last 5 plays have been handoffs. As Boswell meets a wall of Don's defenders. Cole Miller in on the tackle, the freshman from Norco High School. Jared Zamora also in at nose tackle. Haven't seen Blaze Iglesias. Might not be able to go today, as we did see him last Saturday suffer a lower body injury, as Boswell picks up the first down and drags Cole Miller maybe about 2 to 3 yards as well at the end of that run. Nice hard running there by Boswell. He's been a workhorse for the Roadrunners much of this season. First and 10 for Blankenship and the Roadrunners, eating plenty of time off this clock. 1:47 left to go in the first quarter. Blankenship has 2 receivers out to each side of him. Looks over the middle, tries to get it to his main target. That's Valentino. No flag has been thrown, as it was a safety one-on-one in coverage with Valentino. Valentino had a big game last Saturday, as he finished with 5 receptions for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had an important touchdown catch too at the end of the first half. That was Evan Palladay in coverage at safety for the Dons. They roll up Jake Bento in the corner on the near side, playing the slot corner for the Dons defense. They decide to rush 6. Blankenship decides to dance around but can't escape the pressure. It's a loss of about 9. There was pressure coming from the left side. However, Blankenship decided to plant the foot in the ground, try to escape left. However, he slipped, and it was an easy sack opportunity for the Dons defense. 3rd and 18 coming up for the Roadrunners. Not in a position you want to be in if you're facing this Dons defense, a team that has 41 sacks on the season as a unit. They've also forced 13 interceptions on the season. So not only a very tough defense to move the ball on, they're very opportunistic, create a lot of turnovers, as that's going to force the Roadrunners to call a timeout here on this 3rd and long. 47 seconds left in the first quarter. The Dons have a 14-7 lead over College of the Desert. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Speaking of the Dons, why don't we update you on some of the scores from the other sports going on in the season, as we want to congratulate the men's soccer team on a fantastic season. It did come up short in a loss yesterday, Saturday evening, as they fell short to Norco College by a score of 2-0. But the Dons men's soccer team was able to make the playoffs, however, fell short to Norco College in the first round. And it's also about the time where winter sports get started and on our way, as both men's and women's basketball are in the preseason schedule before they begin Orange Empire Conference play sometime in late December or early January. The women's basketball team is off to a hot 5-1 start. They have a tournament here at Santa Ana College at the end of November, from November 30th to December 2nd, while the men's basketball team is off to a 3-3 start through 6 games. So 3rd and 18 coming up for the Roadrunners. Yard to gain is the 18-yard line. Blankenship looks to his right side, throws it over Valentino's head, and that's possibly because he had pressure right in his face. That was a Borney who came off that left side. Looks like there's an injured player. That's Zamari Richardson grabbing his shoulder. Looks like one of the big boys up front was able to fall on him, and hope it's just a stinger. Nonetheless, it's going to be a opportunity for the punt team to come out. No, it's going to be in a long field goal attempt. Maybe an opportunity for the Roadrunners to get a fake field goal as well. This will be a 54-yard field goal for Armorendez. This has the leg, and it's through the uprights. So a 54-yard field goal for the Roadrunners makes this now 14-10. A tremendous effort there by the freshman kicker from Palm Springs High School. Don't see that too often here at this level, as they cut the deficit to now 4 with 39 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Seems like the Roadrunners' goal in that last possession there was to eat plenty of time and maybe play some keep away too from this Dons offense. I'm sure they're glad to get some points. However, if their defense can't stop the Dons defense from finding the end zone, this is going to be a long day for head coach Jack Steptoe and company. So ball on the 35, just about ready for kickoff. Dylan Armorendez will be tasked to kick this ball away after just hitting that 54-yard field goal. Gets this one deep over to the left side. That's Elijah Sadler, who now takes it at the 1-yard line. Cuts up the left hash, over all the way across to the right hash now. Dragging some defenders with him, however. He's just going horizontal. Not a lot of vertical movement there by Sadler, who also plays cornerback. Speaking of horizontal, someone who knows all about horizontal action is CalEmpire.com. They're a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. And they're also a big supporter of Santa Ana College athletics. For more information, please visit CalEmpire.com. So 1st and 10 for the Dons. Ball at their own 19-yard line. Just under 30 seconds left to go. There is a flag on the near 30. It's a personal foul. So it'll be half the distance from the goal if the ball's on the 19. Ball will be at about or around the 10-yard line, maybe 9.5. Put it down at the 9. And this time it'll be Dallin Eggman at quarterback for the Dons. 3 receivers over to his left. The deep back looks like Owen Smith. And Malachi Pierce, the man who already has 2 receiving touchdowns on the evening, is on the near sideline. It's a handoff to Owen Smith, who fights all the way down to the 12-yard line. Nice job there. The Dons have had much success running the ball this season, averaging 149 yards on the ground. Last week in their win over College of the Desert, they were able to collect 193 yards rushing, and that was between a few different players, as that'll mark the end of the first quarter. Dons have a 14-10 lead. Going back to last Saturday's victory between these two teams for the Dons, Owen Smith had 81 yards on the ground, while Jackson Smith contributed 73 yards on the ground. Malcolm Perry, the sophomore back, also had 44 yards on 10 rushing attempts. Owen Smith was the only one, Owen Smith and Malcolm Perry Both had a touchdown apiece. And while those three had a special performance, the Dons were without William Saucedo, one of the leading backs for much of the season. Still leads the team with 591 rushing yards on the season, has 7 touchdowns, has also fumbled the ball 3 times. However, he didn't play in all 10 games this season. He missed the game last weekend against College of the Desert. So it's good to see him back here in the Southern California Bowl. Arguably his best season of the game came against Glendale College. That game was on the road. However, against Santa Monica here at home back on September 23rd, he was able to put up 121 yards on the ground through 19 rushes and was able to punch it in once for the Dons. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns against LA Southwest. That was, again, back in the beginning of the season. However, hasn't seen the consistent handoffs and opportunities as he did in the beginning half of the season. Nonetheless, Eggman in at quarterback, Owen Smith in at running back, 2nd down and 7. It's a handoff up the middle. Owen Smith finds the hole and gets all the way to the 24-yard line for a 1st down. Again, we're seeing really good patience here from both running backs. Owen Smith took the handoff, and it was designed to go up the middle, bounced off to the right side once he got to the 2nd level and was able to pick up another 3 to 4 yards doing so. As Eggman looks over to the right side, it's a pitch and catch to Pierce. Gain of about 9 on the play as he's marked down at the 32. Just a little hitch route, and because Pierce has already blown the top off the coverage, those Roadrunner DBs are going to be playing back and are going to be much more quick to bail. So anything short and underneath, Pierce should have plenty of space for both his quarterbacks to make the throws to. 3 receivers down on the left side here on your near side of the screen as the Dons are now heading from left to right. He's going to air it out to King, and King makes the catch along the sideline and is tripped up at the 26-yard line. What a pass from Eggman to King. 2 sophomore players that have the chemistry from the previous season. And just like that, the Dons are within striking distance. Ball at the Roadrunner 26-yard line. That play was set up, too, by great blocking up front by the offensive line. Not only can they run block really well, just like as you see here on this play, Owen Smith now off the left side, stiffs arms the defender and throws him out of bounds at the 9-yard line. But 3 flags fly in, so we'll have to wait to see what the call is. Just to finish the thought earlier, Eggman had all kinds of time on that big throw on 2nd down to King. Had a clean pocket, was able to set his feet, load up on his back leg, and make that throw. An incredible throw as he kept King in stride and was able to stay near the sideline. Now William Saucedo going to check into the game along with Owen Smith. Those are the 2 running backs. It was a personal foul penalty on the Roadrunners, a face mask. So tack on half the distance from the goal. Ball is now at the 4-yard line. .46 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Looks like the referees are going to take their timeout. So the Dons have a 14-10 lead. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Both these teams huddled up with their coaches near the sideline. The Dons enter tonight with a 8-2 record, while the Roadrunners finished 6-4 this season. Both teams earning 3rd and 4th place. Looks like there was maybe some blood on the field as they wash and dump some water near the 5-yard line on that left hash. So maybe some maintenance or something that they have to wash off real quick. Nonetheless, both these teams from the American Metro Conference, and not typically do you see 2 teams that finish the regular season play against one another in the postseason. As I was able to look back through the archives and didn't see any time that a team had played each other in Week 10 and also face off against each other in a bowl. So Might have happened before, but in the last 15 years, this hasn't happened before. Obviously, we've seen a couple times where teams will play each other during the season and also get matched up, but very different when you're a Week 10 opponent and also facing off each other the very next week in the postseason play. So these two teams very familiar with each other. If you've watched both games, you're pretty familiar with both these names as well. As Eggman, now in the backfield with Saucedo and Smith. It's a handoff to Smith over on the left side. And a good tackle there. Coming from the linebacker position. No, excuse me, the defensive lineman position was Isaac Barranco. Stops him down at the 2-yard line. The Dons like to run to that left side, even with backup left guard Evan Douglas in the game. Still have confidence that both the left tackle and the left guard can get the necessary push to get a positive gain on a run play. Smith still on the right side. Saucedo still on the left side. Now it's a handoff to Saucedo. Penetration in on the backfield. That's Christian Verdun. We mentioned his name early in the broadcast because he had a huge game last Saturday as he makes a tackle for loss as he was able to beat the right guard. Forward progress has him down at the 1, so a very favorable spot for the Dons. Gives Saucedo a gain of 1, but it's 3rd and goal now from the 1-yard line. It's a handoff to Owen Smith. Smith again stopped and dragged down by Verdun. Nice individual performance there by the big defensive tackle, a freshman from Union Grove, Georgia. 12:10 left to go in the second quarter. Dons have a 4th and goal at their own 1 yard on the left hash. Let's see what they do here. The offense stays on the field. Eggman in at quarterback. Saucedo and Owen Smith still in the backfield. No motions. Eggman going to look to his left. Throws it over to King. King off his chest plate. Can't make the catch. That was Fabian Garcia in coverage. And it was a good throw. Looked like Garcia was draped all over King. No flag was thrown. But if you're King, you had a good chance to catch that ball. It was a great throw from Eggman. And just like that, it's a turnover on downs. So we just mentioned it in the previous possession for the Roadrunners, that it was good for them to get points on the last possession, but they've struggled to keep the Dons off the board in these past 2 matchups. However, they come up with an important stop there. Still not over as they have to get out of the back of the end zone. Ball currently at the 1-yard line. It's the first time now we're seeing of Devontae Armstrong, the backup quarterback. A little bit more mobile than Bryson Blankenship as he adds that category. As that doesn't matter, Elias Abdullah shoots through the right side and he crosses midfield. I don't think anyone for the Dons is going to catch him. He's now at the 15, 5 into the end zone for 6. So just like that, the Roadrunners take a 16-14 lead. Huge momentum shift there as the Roadrunners get not only the 4th and goal stop at the 1-yard line, but then they have a 99-yard touchdown run by Elias Abdullah. Big hole on the right side of that offensive line, as the defense wasn't expecting that one. And it'll be the field goal kicker, Dylan Armendariz, to attempt the point after and make this a 3-point game. Looks like there was movement up front. One of the offensive linemen jolted up just a split. Riley Kretzer will be penalized for the false start penalty. So now they'll be attempting this PAT from the 7-yard line. Still manageable for Armendariz, who we just saw hit a 54-yard field goal, so I'm sure this 15-yard field goal would be no problem. 25. Good snap, good hold, and the field goal is through the uprights. 17-10 with 11:31 left to go in the second quarter. The Roadrunners have their first lead in these 2 encounters with the Dons. So we'll see how the Santa Ana Dons respond in this next possession. It's not like they couldn't move the ball. They got all the way down to the 2-yard line, had first and goal from the 2, and they ran 3 straight run plays, weren't able to punch it in thanks to good penetration from the defensive lineman, specifically Christian Verdun, playing defensive tackle for College of the Desert. And then on 4th and goal, they decided to throw a quick slant over to Cannon King, who did beat his defender. However, it hit his chest plate, and he wasn't able to make the catch. So it was a turnover on downs, and on the very next play, Devontae Armstrong handed it off to Elias Abdullah, who took it 99 yards for a touchdown. Back deep to return for the Dons is Elijah Sadler and Malachi Pierce. Amarendrez kick this off to the left side now, so we'll see Pierce get a kick return in. Takes it from his own 5-yard line, cuts it up to the left hash now. And again, more horizontal movement by the Dons. Ball will be placed at the 18, maybe 18.5-yard line, left side, and that's where the Dons will start this next offensive possession. Reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. It'll be Dallin Eggman in at quarterback again for the Dons offense. A sophomore from Timpview, Utah, which is in the city of Provo. As he fakes the handoff, looks over to the left side. It's a screen play out to Cannon King. He does a nice job of making those first 2 defenders miss. And there's a flag that comes in. It looks like there's going to be a face mask. So tack on 15 more yards at the end of that play, as it was Keyshawn Butler who came from the safety position and got a handful of mask on that play. King a little shaken up as he walks it off. There is also a flag down at the 12-yard line, which is usually in the vicinity of holding. So there was 2 penalties. Looks like they waived one off, the face mask. However, there was a roughing the passer penalty on Christian Verdun. So not even a pass play. It was that RPO action, as he did fake the handoff. And looks like Verdun did make unnecessary contact with Eggman. They throw the flag, and it's 15 yards nonetheless. Ball now at the 47-yard line for the Dons. Eggman going to hand this off to Smith. Smith cuts up the middle, runs off the backside of left guard Evan Douglas, getting the start tonight. We did see him play earlier in the season. However, for much of the season, it was Adon Aguilar playing left guard. Both him and Douglas, big boys up front. Douglas, a 6'5" sophomore from Costa Mesa High School. 3 receivers over to Eggman's right. King is the lone receiver here on the left side. He's looking that way. It's an out route. King, with the defender draped all over him, makes the catch. That's Garcia, who's complaining to the referee about something. However, it was Garcia who had both hands on King, sliding as King was able to make that catch and fight through the contact. King will take a breather, and coming in his place is Caden Vestermark. It's Amari Hart, Josiah Washington, and Malachi Pierce, the 3 receivers, over to Eggman's right. They motion Hart and motion him back out to the right side. It's a draw play. Nice job in the hole, as Owen Smith had a defender waiting for him to make a tackle, and he fights for a gain of 4 yards. That was Tikri Asavele who could have made the tackle for a loss. However, Owen Smith had something up his sleeve there, and with 9:45 left to go, it's 2nd down and 7. Pierce now moves from the outside receiver to the middle receiver on that right side. They motion again Hart, and motion him back out to the right side. Eggman dancing around in the pocket, looks downfield. He has a man open. That's Pierce, who almost makes a spectacular catch over the corner who was coming from the sideline. Can't see the full number. Looks like number 35 was the man slow to get up, but he did make a big play on the ball. That's Tanner Reif. He was the corner on the on the far sideline. He wasn't in coverage as Pierce was able to get back to the safety because he came across the middle. And because Eggman was able to buy more time, Pierce started heading towards that far sideline, was in the blue in that painted area of the end zone. Eggman, if he maybe threw a little bit more on that, Pierce might have been able to run to the far corner and just run underneath that one without any trouble. However, because he short-armed him just a little bit, it gave time for Reef to come over from that far sideline, and it was a jump ball, 50-50. Usually you see those in favor of Pierce, but a nice heroic effort there by Reef as he's able to walk off the field under his own power. Good sign to see. And it'll be 3rd and 7 back here for the Dons offense. 9:22 left to go in the second quarter. Pierce, Washington, and Hart are the 3 receivers over on Eggman's right. Owen Smith is the deep back, and Cannon King is the lone receiver here on the near sideline. Roadrunners bring 4 on the pass play. King gets past his defender, and it's a catch, and he has to step out of bounds at the 3-yard line, but a huge pitch and catch play from the sophomore to sophomore connection. Eggman again to King. We've seen that much of the season, and it'll be 1st and goal. They mark him down at the 4-yard line. Nice throw again, and nice blocking up front. It was a 3rd and 7 play, and the Roadrunners were able to generate any sort of pressure with their front 4 defensive linemen, so Eggman had all kinds of time to sit back in the pocket and make that strong throw over to the left side. He now has 2 running backs in the backfield, Owen Smith and William Saucedo. It's another pass play over to the right side to Malachi Pierce. That's his 3rd on the evening and his 17th on the season. They put Pierce over in the slot on the right side. It was a smash concept as the outside receiver ran a short hitch route and Pierce ran a corner. Eggman made a nice throw, strong throw to the back corner of the end zone, and Pierce was able to run under it no problem. Just like that, the Dons retake the lead, and pending the extra point, could be a 4-point game. A little bit of a high snap, but Pierce does a nice job of putting it back down for Hotchkiss to punch this one through. It's 21-17, 8:50 left to go in the second quarter. It's the Southern California Bowl, Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Dons are looking to finish 9-2, be their first time winning more than 8 games in a season in more than a decade. The last time they had 8 wins in a season was back in 2012 when that team finished 8-3. That team also won the last bowl game for the Dons program as they defeated College of the Canyons 24-21. Of course, they're doing that without their head coach, Anthony White, who unfortunately can't be with the team today. As Hotchkiss pooches this one up the middle. Received. Ooh, big collision there at the 26. Looks like both players are all right. One player was going backwards. Another player was coming forwards. That was Cannon Boswell and Jermaine Stewart Jr. who collided there at the 26. Usually you see something like that in baseball or in softball if there's no communication between the outfielder and the infielders. It's like one of those in-between pop flies. As Jermaine Stewart did make the catch, but he was coming backwards. Someone's got to call somebody off. However, that wasn't done there. Again, both players all right. Boswell going to stay into the game. He's their main guy, the workhorse at running back. They also have Elias Abdullah into the game at a fullback type position. Devontae Armstrong, the quarterback. It's a handoff to Boswell. Boswell shoots up the middle to the 30-and-a-half-yard line. Gain of about 4. Big Jared Zamora going to check into the game for the Dons defense. Joseph Abarney in on the field as well, playing the near side defensive end. Also in on the game at defensive tackle is Edward Castro. Samari Richardson is the 4th defensive lineman. Looks like there's going to be a timeout down on the field, however. 8:22 left to go in the second quarter. Dons have a 21-17 lead over College of the Desert. A little bit more competitive than the first time these two teams played. Again, they played just 8 days ago, last Saturday. As I mentioned earlier, the Dons did get out to a 28-7 lead in the first half. However, as time expired in the second quarter, it was the receiver, Frankie Valentino, who made a nice catch near the far sideline, was able to tiptoe and stay in bounds. And that late touchdown made it a 28-14 game. The Roadrunners responded rather quickly in the third quarter and got a touchdown on their opening drive, making it 28-21. However, the Dons were able to keep them at arm's length distance, responding, making it 35-21. And while the Roadrunners did score a touchdown once again in the fourth quarter, the Dons responded with 2 of their own and came up with a few key defensive stops. That's been the story of much of this season, is the Dons defense. They now have 5 down defensive linemen trying to stop this run game. That means man coverage on the backside. They throw it to Valentino, who had a step on Sadler. However, Armstrong's throw led him out of bounds, and it'll be 3rd and 6. So Dons electing to go with 5 down defensive linemen. Zamora, Serrano, Richardson, Castro, and Aborny. Markel Mitchell and Palladay are the 2 safeties. As looks like there was movement up front. And there should be a false start penalty. So move it back 5 yards on College of the Desert. In at linebacker is Andrew Martinez and Baden Tanakawa. Tanakawa, a sophomore from Irvine House School. 5 down linemen. The Dons bring 6. They throw over to the left side, and it was just a little bit too high as Armstrong tried to connect with his receiver, Alvaro Zetino. So that'll be a 3-and-out forced by the Dons defense. Nice job there to get off the field. It'll be Lopez to punt this ball away, and Malachi Pierce back deep to return. Typically the Dons defense very good at getting opposing teams off the field on 3rd downs. On the season, they only allow a 33% conversion rate. However, last weekend in their game, as Lopez gets this off, it's a short punt, takes a backwards bounce, and it looks like the Dons will get this ball at the Roadrunner 49-yard line. But last week, the Roadrunners were 8 of 19 on 3rd downs, just under 50%, which was actually 42%. They did go 1 of 5 on 4th downs, so that's where they struggled to move the ball and extend drives. However, 8 of 19, not bad against this Dons defense. It's above the season average. As with 8 minutes left to go, now the Dons offense will come out to the field. A unit that put up 474 yards of offense last Saturday. It'll be Beck Moss in at quarterback once again. 2 running backs in the backfield. King down here on the near sideline. It's a handoff to Jackson Smith. And Smith moves the pile all the way down to the 41-yard line. Gain of 8. Nice run there by Jackson Smith, who also has a 99-yard rushing touchdown on the season. If you remember back against Santa Monica College, he was able to have that 99-yard touchdown. We saw one earlier with Elias Abdullah as another handoff to Smith. Back-to-back handoffs for the sophomore running back from El Dorado, and in those 2 handoffs, he was able to pick up a 1st down and a little bit more. 14 yards and 2 handoffs. Saucedo also in on the game at running back, along with Josiah Washington, the slot receiver here on the left side, and Malachi Pierce, the man of the evening, over on the far side. Moss hands it off once again. Big hole on that left side as the line for the Dons are getting plenty of push there. Another gain of 9 yards, almost a first down. Again, nice job by Victor Corrales, the left tackle, and Evan Douglas, the left guard. They pushed both of those defenders more than 5 yards down the field, so it was a nice big hole for Jackson Smith to run through. Second down and 1 for the Dons. It's a pass. Pressure. He's going to force Moss to roll to his left. Still looking down the field, nothing going on, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 22-yard line. So he picks up enough for a first down. That's one thing that Moss brings to the table. And while I wouldn't say he's the most mobile quarterback, he is a little bit more mobile than Dallin Eggman and is able to extend plays, make some moves with his feet. And with 6:14 left to go in the second, Dons have a 1st and 10. Washington now in on the slot on the right side. No, excuse me, he's the outside receiver. Malachi Pierce is in the slot. They swing it out to Jackson Smith. This throw was low, and that forced Smith to turn around and make that catch, setting up a big hit opportunity for Shide Elam. Loss of 2 on the play. Again, they ran that same concept earlier where they motioned that outside receiver to an underneath route, hopefully to distract the linebackers from the swing pass from the running back. However, because of the throw that was behind Jackson Smith just a tad, that gave enough time for Elam to come and make the tackle for a loss of 2. Now Moss drops back, looks to his left side, steps up and evades the pressure. Now he throws it right to, oh no, almost an interception that turns into a touchdown for Josiah Washington. That's Calvin Miller, the man looking at himself and at his hands, confused at what's just happened. Washington, I'm sure, is just as confused as Moss was trying to throw it to Washington, who was in the back of the end zone. Didn't put enough juice on that one, and Calvin Miller had a beautiful opportunity to intercept it. Went right through his hands, and Washington was able to adjust to the deflection, make the catch, and just like that, the Dons now have a 10 pending the extra point. Could be an 11-point lead, and it is. So 28-17 is the score after what was a, guess you could say, some good luck on the Dons' favor, as Josiah Washington was able to haul in that 26-yard touchdown pass from Beck Moss. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. 5:12 left to go in the second quarter. Both these teams playing for the second time this season because it's the Southern California Bowl. Both earning a spot in the 3rd and 4th place slots for the American Division. Both these teams, I'm sure, hoping to advance to the National Division when the next time there is opportunity to do so. And if you're the Dons, in order to do so or make a stronger case at advancing to the National Division, have to get to the likes of Chaffey College or have to get to the likes of Pasadena City College. 2 teams that they faced this season, and there are only 2 losses. Pasadena City was back in the beginning of the season. They fell short by a score of 55-35. 4 turnovers in the first half really set them back, as this is a pooch kick to Boswell, who takes it and gets to the 37-yard line. And then it was a much closer game against Chaffey College, who did finish the season undefeated. However, the Dons still came up short by a score of 34-24. The Dons were able to make a late push, scoring 12 points late in the 4th quarter. However, it wasn't enough, as their defense struggled to keep the Chaffey College offense out of the end zone and off the field. It was only their 2 losses, so still plenty to be happy and excited about if you're a fan of the Dons program or a member of the Dons coaching staff. As this first play is a handoff from Armstrong to Boswell, goes for 2 yards. Coming in at safety is Gabriel Magana. Markel Mitchell also in the game. Dons are still going to use that 5-man front, really selling out on committing to stop the run. We'll see what the Roadrunners respond with. They did take a couple shots with Armstrong's arm this past drive. However, were unable to capitalize and had to punt the ball away. 5 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 4 defensive backs for the Dons. It's a power run play for Armstrong, who takes it off right tackle, gets outside, makes another defender miss, and gets past the 45-yard line, pushed out of bounds at the 42 of the Dons. Nice patience there by Armstrong, who stretched it wide immediately. Had to go around penetration by one of the Dons' defensive linemen. Weaved through another Dons defender and was able to get enough yardage for a big gain. Armstrong again with 2 running backs in the backfield. Valentino is the lone receiver here on the near sideline. 1st and 10. Armstrong going to hand it off to Boswell. Boswell met in the middle by Ethan Arona, the sophomore linebacker from Everett, Washington. Comes up with another tackle. Both he and Cole Miller are the leading tacklers on this defense. Armstrong again with 2 backs in the backfield. Boswell the deep back. Bad snap as Armstrong had to go down and get it. It's a pass play. Armstrong breaks contain over on the left side. I don't know if anyone for the Dons is going to catch him. He's finally brought down at the 6. It's a gain of 39 on the play. So huge run there by Armstrong, and that was a broken play. It wasn't a design run, as someone on that right side of the defensive line for the Dons lost contain. It was a bad snap too, so what could have gone from a bad play turns out to be a spectacular play as Boswell falls forward to about the 3-yard line. Deontine Thomas checks into the game for the Dons. Oscar Serrano, as well as Edward Castro, Joseph Aborni in on the stop. And in at defensive line. Armstrong going to hand it off to Boswell once again. He tries to bounce it outside, keeps the feet moving, and he's in for 6. Nice patience there as he was able to outrun Martinez, the linebacker. There was initial penetration, so he had to keep bouncing out to the left. And on that second bounce, it was a foot race between him and Martinez. Martinez was coming in off balance, and Boswell able to punch it in for 6. Boswell will stay on the game as he is on the PAT unit. Point after try will be attempted by Dylan Armendariz. As a bad snap, Calvin Miller is the holder. He also plays safety and gets to the pylon. That's going to be a 2-point conversion off a bad snap. So that's twice on this drive alone. We saw Devontae Armstrong have a huge 39-yard run off a bad snap, would turn into a broken play. And here there's a bad snap on the PAT. However, Calvin Miller, a pretty good athlete, picks it up, runs all the way to the right side, and outruns all the Dons defenders for a 2-point conversion. 28-25 is the score. That brings it to a 3-point game. And with 2:20 left to go in the second quarter, things are rather interesting here tonight. Again, both times these two teams played, Dons were able to handle the College of the Desert Roadrunners 49-28. And while the Roadrunners are able to score and make things, I could say competitive, I want to say close, it always felt like the Dons were at a comfortable arm's distance away from the Roadrunners. This time, a little bit different story. It's hard to beat a team twice. I'm sure the Roadrunners made plenty of adjustments during the week of preparation. As this is Pierce, who receives it back from his own 9-yard line, decided to go left, cuts up the middle, drags the defender all the way to the 37-yard line. Nice return and patience there by Pierce. Again, want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cal Empire Engineering. They've been one of the biggest supporters of Santa Ana College athletics for the last few seasons. They're a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. For more information, please visit calempire.com. That's calempire.com. empire.com. Two running backs in the backfield along with Beck Moss. And three receivers out on the field. Josiah Washington in at slot at the left side. It's a handoff to Jackson Smith. Big hole up the middle as he gashes the Roadrunners defense and is brought down at the 39-yard line. Near sideline referee is going to mark him down at the 40. So good burst of speed there. He was finally brought down by Jure Green. As the Dons have had no problem moving the ball on the ground today. They're going to motion Saucedo out from the backfield to the right side. It's a screen the opposite way. Jackson Smith can't make that first man miss. Good tackle there by Jermaine Stewart Jr. coming from the linebacker position. So second down and 11 coming up for the Dons. Moss drops back, looks over the middle, wants to air it out, and he does. However, better coverage, and this one's nearly intercepted. That's Keyshawn Butler, the man in coverage, running stride for stride with Malachi Pierce. We've seen Pierce get past the defensive backs for the Roadrunners a few times already today's game. However, much better job there by Butler. Going to bring up third down and 12. Yard to gain is the 30, let's say 30 and a half, as it's just shy of the 30. Under a minute left to go in the second quarter. Dons are looking to get some more points on the board before the end of the first half. Moss hands it off to Owen Smith. Owen Smith gashes the Roadrunner defense for about 6 yards. I believe you call a play like that knowing you want to go for it on fourth down. That's going to force the Roadrunners to call a timeout as they're hoping to get the ball back after this fourth down play. So timeout down on the field. When we come back, it'll be 4th and 6 coming up for the Dons offense. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. So 4th down and 6 coming up for the Dons offense. They're looking to get some more points before the end of the first half, and the Roadrunners defense looking to make a big stop and potentially get the ball back, get their field goal kicker in range. Both teams have one timeout left. Moss will come out with 2 running backs in the backfield, Jackson Smith to his left, Owen Smith to the right. 3 receivers on the field. Cannon King, the lone receiver, on the near sideline. Moss going to step up, has plenty of room to run, and he slides down. Could have been a late hit by Calvin Miller, as Beck Moss did give himself up on the slide. Head coach over on the Roadrunners sideline arguing that he started his slide before the first down marker. However, far sideline referee disagrees, gives him the first down. The Dons will be able to move the chains. 1st and 10 coming up. Moss looking deep to the left side. King has to make an adjustment on the ball as Fabian Garcia was in coverage. Moss underthrew him about by a yard or so. It was a nice job by King to come back to the ball. However, a little bit uncatchable. 21 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Again, the Dons have one timeout remaining, so they could call a run play or a short pass play, chew some time off the clock, and maybe set up a field goal opportunity for Aaron Hotchkiss, their freshman kicker. Moss On second down and 10, drops back to pass, looks middle. No pressure in his face. Now has to dance around. Pressure's going to get to him as Callum Armstrong brings him down at the 42. 10 seconds and ticking. We'll see if anyone decides to call a timeout here. Looks like both teams are just going to let this one run out. So costly decision there by Moss as it was second down and 10, and the Dons were in prime position to get some points on the board. However, he takes a 12-yard sack, which puts them out of field goal range and out of position to do anything afterwards. And thus, the Dons will have to go in to halftime with a 28-25 lead. It's been an exciting first half of action. We'll take a brief break during halftime and come back with some first half stats and some scores from around the 3C 2A. haven't tried those, but I have like a hydration pack. Yeah, that's it. What is it? You just put like a squirt or what? Why was it? I don't want to take all your thing either. You know what I mean? All right. Thank you. But yeah, I feel like sometimes regular water don't still be like hydrating you the same. You can, but and it feels better. You know what I mean? If you feel better because you're drinking this lemonade flavored water, why not? Mhm. It's good. Thank you. No, at the ping pong thing, she's gonna be like, "Hey, this is really good. Like, you guys should try this." Yeah. Making like the tennis grunts. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. It's one of those like silly parody movies. Did you ever? Where? Oh yeah, yeah, I see him. I see him. I see him. Yeah. Nice. Good for him. I don't know if he'll play more. Just oh, maybe he will. I don't know. True. Good. I'm gonna go. I think here. Oh, nice. Right on. That's pretty good. What does it usually average? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. Cool. I'll go on in a sec. Oh, real quick. What was the what's the cameraman's name? I just need a first name. Mario. That's Shakespeare. That's crazy. It's Shakespeare. You just said that. Oh shit. Welcome back here to Eddie West Field for the second half of the Southern California Bowl between the Santa Ana Dons and the College of the Desert Roadrunners. My name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. As we're a few seconds away from kickoff here, it'll be the Roadrunners kicking off to the Dons. Roadrunners will be heading from left to right. And again, the Dons have a 28-25 lead here to begin the third quarter. How did we get here? Well, the Dons opened up the scoring first as it was a 19-yard pitch and catch from Moss to Malachi Pierce that gave them an early 7-0 lead. Then Bryson Blankenship, the quarterback for the Roadrunners, responded with a 35-yard catch and throw to Dylan Maldonado that evened things up at 7 apiece. Moss was able to find Pierce for a second time later in the first quarter for a 45-yard touchdown that made it 14-7. And then Dylan Armendariz, the kicker for the Roadrunners, hit a 54-yard field goal, which is rather impressive at this level. That made things 14-10 as Armendariz kicks it off to Pierce, returned from the 4-yard line, heads up that near sideline and gets past the kicker and is finally brought down at the 45. But to finish the scoring, after Armendariz's field goal, the Roadrunners got a key stop, forced the Dons to turn it over on downs, and Elias Abdullah ran it in from 99 yards. That made things 17-14 in favor of the Roadrunners. However, on the ensuing possession, Eggman found Pierce for a 4-yard touchdown. That gave the Dons a 21-17 lead. Afterwards, Moss was able to find Josiah Washington, which was rather a wacky touchdown because it was almost intercepted. However, it was deflected into the hands of Josiah Washington. That made it 28 to 17 as Eggman drops back, looks to throw deep. He wants to hit Washington. Good coverage there by Calvin Miller, who boxed out Washington on the catching attempt. There's a flag on the ground, usually in the vicinity of holding. And it's a roughing the passing penalty on the defense. The second one on the evening, this time on Callum Armstrong. And that'll put the Dons at the Roadrunner 40-yard line. And just to finish up the scoring, Cannon Boswell punched it in from 3 yards out. That made things 28 to 25 thanks to a 2-yard rushing or conversion on the 2-point conversion attempt by Calvin Miller. So 1st and 10 for the Dons offense. And again, it's a 28 to 25 game. Handoff to Owen Smith, who gets about 5 yards on the carry. Again, the Dons have been having their way with the Roadrunners defense, especially pounding the ball between the lines. Again, you got to give credit to the offensive line. Victor Corrales at left tackle, Evan Douglas at left guard, Iskandar Albitar at center, John Fonseca at right guard, and Levi Banuelos over at right tackle, providing plenty of time for their quarterbacks and getting plenty of push. If you watch that middle of the line, I know there's a penalty play, but already the center and the right guard were 4 or 5 yards down the field, driving back their assignment. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 after the false start penalty. King's also on the field along with Josiah Washington and Malachi Pierce. Eggman is a quarterback to start the second half, while Beck Moss was the quarterback to start the first half. Again, my name is Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in, wherever you may be tuning in from. Eggman drops back, deep drop back. There's some pressure from the right side. Nice job to evade the rush. Wide open is Owen Smith on the right side. He passes the 25 and lowers the shoulder, delivers a hit, and he's finally driven out of bounds at the 23. That was Anthony Pickram who met him over on the far sideline near the 25. Both those players walking away normal, but I'm sure both those shoulders are stinging. 13-30 in the third quarter. Dons have a 3-point lead here at the Southern California Bowl, looking for their first bowl win since 2012. As it's another handoff, this time to Saucedo off the left side. Shoots through the gap and gets about 9 yards. Again, anytime the Dons want to run the ball, they can easily get 3, guaranteed 4, maybe even 5 yards each handoff. Eggman hands it off to Saucedo once again. This time bounces off a defender in the backfield and pushes ahead to the 8-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Dons. We did see them once come up short in the red zone as they had the ball on the 4-yard line, ran it 3 straight times, couldn't punch it in, and they tried to throw it on 4th down, came up short and had to turn it over on downs. Let's see what they do this time. 1st and goal, it's a pass. Eggman looks left, forces to step up, throws it to the corner of the end zone, and this one's broken up. Great hands there by Pickram. It was intended for Cannon King, the sophomore receiver. Pickram in from the safety position. He was the man to break it up. Good throw there by Eggman to even give King a chance at getting that one. Between the two quarterbacks, Eggman and Moss, Eggman does have a little bit better accuracy and can fit the balls into tight windows. And we're seeing that on display here. 12:25 in the third quarter. It's a handoff to Owen Smith. A lot of room. He's met at the 3-yard line, keeps the feet moving. They haven't blown it dead yet. And the Dons are going to get a late push into the end zone for 6. Well, we're awaiting the call on from the far sideline. Neither referee. Now they give the sign for a touchdown as Owen Smith met at the 3-yard line originally. There was about 5 Roadrunner defenders that was rallying in on the tackle. However, then the cavalry came. The Dons offensive line began pushing Owen Smith forward. The referees let that one go for quite a while, And that played in favor of the Dons. It's now 34-25. There is an injured Roadrunner down on the field. We hope he's doing all right. Once we get a number, we'll identify who that is. But during this quick timeout, we do want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cal Empire Engineering. They've been one of the biggest supporters of Santa Ana College athletics for the last few years. They are a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. For more information, visit calempire.com. That's calempire.com. So it looks like the injured player is Shide Elam, one of the safeties for the Roadrunner defense. He's going to be helped off on the field. 12-12 left to go in the third quarter. Dons potentially can make this a 10-point lead with the PAT conversion here. It was a drive that started at their own 44-yard line. It was a good return by Malachi Pierce. And on the very first play, it was a roughing the passer penalty that gave the Dons 15 yards, put them in good field position early, and they were able to capitalize just 6 plays later as Owen Smith able to rush it in from 6 yards out. And after the PAT, it now is a 10-point game. 35-25 is the score. It looks like there's a player potentially either cramping or he's injured. Hopefully he's all right. That's Keyshawn Butler. So interesting start to the second half of today's game. Again, this is the Southern California Bowl between College of the Desert and the Santa Ana Dons. Both these teams played just a week ago, back on November 11th. Dons came out victorious by a score of 49-28. And the only two reasons these two teams are playing each other once again was because they both defeated Glendale College earlier in the season, allowing them to finish in 3rd and 4th place respectively. Because the Dons won that game last week, they were able to host the bowl game. So we're happy to bring you the Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics and in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Butler is going to be helped off the field as we get you some of the upcoming schedule, because it is a Sunday and no other games are going on. Can't present to you any live scores or live stats from other games going around the 3C2A. However, tomorrow, El Camino does take on Golden West at 12:30. There'll be video on that one. And on Tuesday, San Diego Mesa will be taking on Allen Hancock in the Strawberry Bowl, as this is received at the 15-yard line. He's going to head up the far sideline. That's Boswell, who has got some good speed on him and is able to be brought down at the 47-yard line. So good return from both the returners here on the opening kick returns for both these teams in the second half. Again, this is the Southern California Bowl, and now there's an injured Dons player. So 3 straight plays, 3 straight injured players. Something must be on the turf, as there was 2 Roadrunner players in the last 2 plays that needed assistance off the field, and now it's a Dons player. Once we get a number, we'll be able to relay that to you. We hope he's doing all right. Again, the Dons have a 35-25 lead. It's the third quarter. 12 minutes left on the scoreboard. We still have an entire second half of action to play. Again, thanks for tuning in, wherever you may be tuning in from. Dons enter tonight with an 8-2 record, looking to capture their first 9-win season in over a decade, and also looking to capture their first bowl win since 2012. They've played in 3 different bowls since then. They appeared in the it was the Southern California Bowl back in 2021. They took on Pasadena City College and came up short. The Lancers were able to score 14 unanswered points, giving them the victory, 28-21. Then back in 2017, the Dons also played in the Southern California Bowl and lost to San Diego Mesa by a final score of 37-34. So they've been 0 for 2 in their last bowl games. However, this Dons team looking to change that, as it looks like it's David Arevalo, a sophomore from Foothill High School, being helped off the field by the trainers here at Santa Ana College. It'll be 1st and 10 from the Roadrunners. Ball on the own 47-yard line. They trailed 35-25 here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Bryson Blankenship, the quarterback to start this second half for the Roadrunners. We've seen 2 so far. They've used both Armstrong and Blankenship. Armstrong 0 for 2 on throwing attempts, while Blankenship is 4 for 6 for 53 yards and 1 touchdown. This is a handoff to Abdullah. Abdullah's first rush of the second half. It's a generous spot that they're going to give him all the way down to the 49. Looked like he was met at the line of scrimmage. However, they're going to give him 2 yards on that carry. 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Roadrunners. On their last drive of the first half, we saw them use a sort of heavy package where they brought in Devontae Armstrong. They had Abdullah and Boswell, and sometimes would rotate another fullback in, and had a more of a power run game, as this is the short pass over to Rivas, who makes the catch at the Dons 45-yard line before he's driven back. Forward progresses, has him down at the 45. So it'll be 3rd and short coming up, and no one loves 3rd downs more than that man in the middle. That's Blaze Iglesias wearing number 40. We didn't see him in the first half. However, he's in at defensive line for the second half. Glad to see he's all right. Zamari Richardson and Deontine Thomas also in on the game at the defensive line position. Looks like they're bringing pressure. Ethan Ronarona comes from the linebacker position. However, Abdullah breaks it out to the left side, and we'll see where that far sideline referee marks the ball down. He has him down at the 43-yard line, and they do give him a 1st down. We're right next to the booth, the coach's booth for College of the Desert, and we can hear the coach's displeasure with that stop. Nonetheless, it's still a 1st down for the Roadrunners, as they're able to keep this drive alive. Abdullah in on the backfield with Blankenship. Blankenship's going to look left. It's a short pass over to Valentino, his first catch on the evening. The sophomore from Cathedral City High School. And now there's an injured player down at the center of midfield towards the skyscrapers on that mural. Looks like it's Zamari Richardson. We hope he's all right. He's been such an impact player for the Dons this season. He's actually 3rd in the entire state of California with 12 sacks on the season. Him and Iglesias have been consistent in bringing pressure on opposing teams. Iglesias usually brings that pressure from the inside, while Richardson uses great burst and acceleration to create pressure from the outside. So we hope he's all right. Again, a lot of injuries here in this second half. It's been a long, grueling season for both these teams playing in the American Metro Conference. They had a rather physical game last week. Dons were able to edge out the Roadrunners by a score of 49-28. Richardson grabbing that shoulder, but he's able to walk off the field under his own power, so that's a good sign. So we'll see what the Roadrunners decide to call here on the 2nd down and short. 10 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. 3 down linemen for the Dons, 3 linebackers, plenty of DBs to take away Blankenship's throwing abilities, as Cole Miller, Ethan Arona, and Christian Gadd wearing number 4 today. We thought that was somebody different, as it's a handoff to Abdullah. Gets a push of about 2 all the way down to the 35-yard line. So third and very short coming up for the Roadrunners. In at defensive line is Jacob Avendano, Deontine Thomas, and Blaze Iglesias, the man in the middle, wearing number 40. Let's see what the Dons do here on this third down. It's a handoff again to Abdullah. This time he does sneak ahead to the 34. However, he's still going to be about a yard short. So fourth and maybe even inches for the Roadrunners coming up. 9 minutes left to go in this third quarter. They're down by 10. Not necessarily desperation time here, as the Dons are going to try and run on 2 defensive linemen onto the field. That's Jared Zamora and Oscar Serrano. 5 down linemen. It's a handoff. No, it's a keeper. Blankenship gets outside and is going to get the first down, being pushed out of bounds at the 29. So no one accounted for the quarterback on that zone read. However, there is a flag thrown. It's an offsides penalty on the defense, so that run will stand. Nice play call there, as Blankenship, not known for his mobile ability, was able to keep that ball and get just enough for a first down. First and 10 coming up for the Roadrunners, their third down conversion of this drive. Don's having a little bit more trouble keeping the Roadrunners offense off the field, as there's 3 receivers over to the right, screen over to the right side, and this one is intended for Rivas. However, he tried to run before the ball was caught, and thus it's an incomplete pass for Blankenship. Second down and 10 coming up for the Roadrunners, a team that finished 6-4. They're led by 10th-year head coach Jack Steptoe. 2 running backs to each side of Blankenship. Blankenship looks left for the quick pass. It's Rivas out in the flats, and he makes that first defender missed. However, it's a good job there by Curl, the corner, to grab hold of that jersey and limited him to a gain of 4 on the play. Yard to gain is the 19-yard line, so it'll be third and a long 6 coming up for the College of the Desert Roadrunners. Dons are still using 5 down defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, only 4 DBs. That usually means man coverage in the secondary. Blankenship going to look right and underthrew his receiver, Valentino. He ran an out route at about the 19-yard line, had a step on Markel Mitchell, the safety in coverage. And it looks like they are going to bring out their field goal unit. We saw Dylan Armendariz make an impressive 54-yard field goal early in this first half. This one will be placed at the 33-yard line, so it'll be a 43-yard field goal for the freshman from Palm Springs High School. Kick is up, has enough leg, and it is good. So nice, impressive kicking here by the freshman for College of the Desert. It cuts it back to a 7-point game as the Dons lead 35-28 with 7:38 left to go here in the third quarter. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. On that drive, we really saw the Dons struggle to keep this Roadrunner offense off the field. And if you look at the first half stats, this was at the end of the first half. The Roadrunners were 3 of 6 on third down conversions, good enough for 50%. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Dons defense opponents were averaging a total of 32% on third down conversion rates. So a very good team as far as getting off the field, however, unable to do so as the Roadrunners made the proper adjustments from their last weekend loss, as Pierce will return this from the 6-yard line. Cuts up the left hash, tries to bounce it outside, and waiting for him was Jacob Castaneda. So a little bit more momentum towards the Roadrunner side, as have good kick coverage there. And the Dons will start this possession at the 19-yard line. However, the big question mark for the Roadrunners is whether or not they could stop the Dons' offensive rushing attack. 7:31 left to go. It'll be Dallin Eggman in at quarterback for the Dons offense. Dons have already rushed for 170 yards on the ground on 25 attempts. They have the potential to go for 300 yards today if things keep going well for them. As the short pass over to the right side. Washington was the man in motion and makes the catch. Speeds past the defender and is finally out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Good play design there. We've seen the Dons use that motion a few times to set up a short underneath route that ended up being a running back swing pass. This time they use a counter, throw it to him on a short screen route, and Roadrunners completely fooled on that play. 2nd down and 5 coming up. It's a handoff over up the middle. Owen Smith cuts it back out to the right side and gets just enough for a 1st down as he's brought down at the 31-yard line. Nice running there again by the Dons offense. This time they like to go off the right side. That's the side where John Fonseca and Levi Banuelos was named 2nd team All-Metro Conference last season. 2 running backs in the backfield with Eggman once again. It's another handoff to Owen Smith. Great blocking up front by Jackson Smith, who was leading the way. And that opened up a big hole on the left side. The Dons don't have what you call a traditional fullback. They'll use either Malcolm Perry, William Saucedo, or Jackson Smith. And that time we saw Jackson Smith, the sophomore from El Dorado, lay a nice block that freed up Owen Smith for that 8-yard gain. 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Dons. Ball near the left hash. 2 receivers flanked out to the right side. It's a handoff to Jackson Smith now, who pushes the pile all the way to the 43-yard line. So 1st down and 10 for the Dons. Just like the Roadrunners on that pass drive, the Dons are very methodical here. Picking up 1st downs rather easily. There's movement up front. I don't think they're going to call a flag. However, Pierce has a step on his defender, makes the catch at the 18, and is finally pushed out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Eggman tried to use a hard count. Christian Verdun moved a little bit but didn't get past the line of scrimmage. They hiked it anyway. They thought it was going to be a free play. Nonetheless, Pierce was able to blow by Fabian Garcia, the corner, in coverage. And it's a big play from Eggman to the freshman receiver who already has 3 touchdowns on the evening. 2 running backs in the backfield. It's another handoff, this time to Owen Smith. Owen Smith gets shifty, cuts back in, and falls down at the 4-yard line. This running back room is very talented, and potentially 2 of those backs could come back next season. And when you look ahead, as Owen Smith and William Saucedo are both freshmen on the roster and could be back for this Dons offense next season. 4:50 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Dons have 1st and goal from the 4. Owen Smith and Jackson Smith are in the backfield with Eggman. Eggman going to look left to King. King makes the catch this time as he's able to haul it in for his 1st touchdown on the evening. It's a 4-yard pitch and catch from Eggman to Cannon King. And that extends the lead to 41-28 for the Dons. Hotchkiss will come in and attempt the extra point. Malachi Pierce to hold. Good snap, good hold, and Hotchkiss is able to punch it through. So the Dons now extend their lead back to 14. It's 42-28. Very similar score to what we saw at the conclusion of last game, which ended at 49-28. Nonetheless, Dons and the Roadrunners still have plenty of ball left. 4:37 left to go on the scoreboard. It was actually It was King's first touchdown of the evening. I thought it was his first touchdown catch as well. Excuse me, first reception of the evening. However, that was his sixth reception. He now has 111 yards and 1 touchdown for the sophomore from Beverly Hills High School. So Hotchkiss has the ball lined up at the 35-yard line in the middle of the field. He kicks it rather deep to the 19-yard line. He cuts left all the way across the field, gets past a few defenders on kickoff coverage. That's Alvaro Zatino. We've seen a few good returns by both these teams, having a lot of success when they cross fields like we just saw Zatino do there. On the season, King now has 39 receptions and has 8 touchdowns on the season, but Malachi Pierce, the freshman, has really stolen the show. He has 44 receptions and 17 touchdowns on the season for the Santa Ana Dons offense. He's been a big playmaker time and time again. But now it's the Roadrunners' chance to have a chance to respawn as Blankenship throws it out to Zatino on the left side, and he'll be lucky to get a yard on that play, as it was Jason Curl who closed in rather quickly on the short route. In at defensive line for the Dons, Joseph Aborni, Oscar Serrano, Deontine Thomas, and Blaze Iglesias. Jake Bento, Elijah Sadler, and Markel Mitchell are the 3 defensive backs who are here on the near side, as it looks like there was movement up front. Blake Martinez and Baden Tanakawa are the 2 linebackers. And Evan Palladay, along with Jason Curl, are the 2 defensive backs over on that far side. So after the false start penalty, it'll be 2nd down and 14 coming up for the Roadrunner offense. It'll be Frankie Valentino and Dylan Maldonado, the 2 teams' leading receivers on the season over here on the near sideline. Valentino's in the slot. Maldonado out wide towards the numbers. Blankenship takes the snap. Is going to look middle. Spins out of a sack, and now this time that's going to be Blaze Iglesias and Joseph Aborni who collapse in on the quarterback for the sack. It was Deontine Thomas who forced the initial pressure. I thought Blankenship was going to get out of that one. Nice move there by Blankenship initially. Going to bring up down 3rd and 18. Yard to gain is the Dons' 48-yard line. So we'll see what the Roadrunners draw up here on this 3rd and long. 2:50 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Blankenship scanning the defense. Now has to be forced to roll right, and he's just going to throw this one away. Nearly a chance for an interception for Jake Bento. He was trying to hawk it down and potentially save this ball from being thrown out of bounds. Nonetheless, 4th and 18 coming up, and it's a 3 and out for the Dons defense. Nice stop there, a big stop as far as keeping momentum on their side. As the referees announced that there is no foul on their last play, they waved the flag off. It'll be Mauricio Lopez to punt this ball away, and Malachi Pierce is back deep to return. Lopez standing at his own 23-yard line, while Pierce stands at his own 20-yard line. Last time we saw Lopez punt the ball over Pierce's head, and it took a very Roadrunner bounce. This time it's short, bounces at the 30. Pierce is going to let it go. And again, it takes another desert bounce all the way to the 13, almost the 12-yard line. And that's where the Dons will start this next offensive possession. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. As the Dons get ready to start this next possession, we want to remind you that our sponsor is Cal Empire Engineering. They've been a big supporter of Santa Ana College Athletics for the last few seasons. They are a leader in all facets of underground construction. For more information, please visit calempire.com. That's calempire.com. 2 running backs in the backfield with Beck Moss as it's a handoff over on the right side. That's Owen Smith who fights for about 3 yards. Again, something's going to have to change for the Roadrunners defenses. The Dons have been able to have their way offensively, not just on the ground, really. It's been a clinic as far as throwing the ball, running the ball. They've been getting past the defensive backs on these deep routes, but they're also really gashing them every time that they hand the ball off to the left side or the right side or up the middle. Everything's really working for the Dons offense as Moss drops back. He's going to look to go deep over the middle. It's Pierce all by himself who catches it at the 45. He reverses field, and it looks like he's going to be able to outstride the 2 nearest defenders, and that's a big touchdown for the Dons. No flags on the play as that touchdown will stand. So it's an 86-yard touchdown for the Dons. Moss to Pierce. That's Pierce's 4th on the evening, his 18th on the season. And we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. That was already good enough to lead the nation. But he extends that lead more and more with each catch and with each touchdown. Is now pending the extra point. The Dons could have the exact same score as that they concluded the last game with. As Pierce holds the ball, Hotchkiss is able to convert on the PAT. It's now 49-28 with 1:36 left to go in the third quarter. A reminder, you are watching Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. It's been all Dons here at the beginning of this second half. As they haven't had much, or excuse me, as the Roadrunners haven't had much success stopping this offensive attack by Santa Ana College. Going into the half, things were all tied up. Not all tied up, but they were down 10 points. 35-25 was the score entering halftime. However, while the College of the Desert Roadrunners did score first, getting a field goal, making it 35-28, the Dons have responded with 2 touchdowns of their own, extending their lead now 49-28. So Hotchkiss boots this one deep, deeper than we've seen before, as he gets this about 5 yards into the end zone. And so there'll be no return for the Roadrunners. Again, 1:36 left to go on the scoreboard, as it's the third quarter here of the Southern California Bowl. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be tuning in from. The Dons 8-2, looking to get their 9th win on the season and get their first bowl victory since 2012. Roadrunners, on the other hand, finished the season 6-4. They played last year in a bowl game. Lost the Beach Bowl to Santa Barbara City College, who now plays in the National Division. Both these 2 teams are American Division teams, finishing 3rd and 4th place in the American Division. As this is a handoff to Boswell, who slithers his way for a 2-yard gain. Nice job there, as there was penetration in the backfield early by the Dons defense. Blaze Iglesias in the middle, along with Oscar Serrano, Joseph Aborni, and Dewantine Thomas. Also in the game at defensive tackle is Ricardo Sanabria. Cole Miller in at linebacker. He's going to come on this blitz. Blaze Iglesias hits the quarterback as he throws. That's an incredible catch, and it's going to be a touchdown. A 78-yard touchdown from Blankenship to his receiver, Frankie Valentino. That was Elijah Sadler, who was running stride for stride with the receiver, and Valentino only needed one hand to trap that ball against his shoulder pad, and he was able to outrun Sadler, who tripped up and punches it in for 6. An impressive catch there by Valentino. We've seen plenty of impressive catches tonight and on the season by Malachi Pierce. But the Roadrunners respond with a touchdown throw and catch of their own. And just like that, it's potentially back to a 14-point game after this extra point attempt by Dylan Armendariz. Good snap. The hold is down. And the kick is through the uprights, as there is a late flag thrown. Could be in the vicinity of what Blaze Iglesias did after the play. We'll see as the referees do talk at about the 10-yard line. Might be assessed on the kickoff since it was towards the end of the play. Just under a minute left to go, though. However, the Dons have a 49-35 lead over the Roadrunners. Again, this is the Southern California Bowl. Both these two teams are in the American Metro Conference and played each other in Week 10 of the regular season. So they're seeing each other literally 8 days after playing one another. And this has been a much more competitive game. However, the Dons are still able to do whatever they want on offense. The Roadrunners have struggled to be able to slow down this offensive attack. However, they might have a better chance of doing so after this 15-yard penalty. It was a personal foul called on Blaze Iglesias. So looks like the Roadrunners would be able to advance this ball 15 more yards. Armendariz, no, that's Lopez. Excuse me, Lopez is going to call this, kick this ball from the 50-yard line. So it looks like they're going to try an onside kick here as there's 6 players lined up on the left side of the kickoff formation. They're going to wait for that high bounce. It bounces over Gabb's head, but it looks like it gets into the arms of a Dons player. Nice athleticism there. That's Baden Tanakawa, the sophomore from Irvine High School. As he was the second man in line on that right side, Christian Gabb was the furthest out towards that far sideline. It bounced over his head, but in retreat was Tanakawa, who was able to play the bounce perfectly and beat a Roadrunner defender to the ball. So the Dons will start this possession at the 35-yard line. Less than a minute left to go. It's a handoff to Owen Smith. Smith, with these jump cuts, are able to get 7-8 yards on the carry. Nice vision there as he was starting to go outside, cut back in, and then once he was in, he was able to cut back out from a linebacker at the next level. Clock still ticking at 35 seconds and going. Washington, Pierce, and King are the 3 receivers down on the field. Moss in at quarterback for the Dons. It's been a solid start for him this far. He got the nod at the beginning of the game. Eggman did start the second half as it's a handoff to Jackson Smith, who has enough for a first down and more. Brought down at the 46-yard line. And it'll be another Dons first down. Clock momentarily stops at 8 seconds while the chains get reset. Ball is placed. And looks like that will be the last play of the third quarter. So 15 more minutes of action left here at Eddie West Field. Dons have a 49-35 lead here at the Southern California Bowl, here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel, in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. It's been all Dons as they've won that time of possession battle as well. 25 minutes compared to 18 minutes of possession from College of the Desert. Hasn't been any turnovers in this game. It's a much cleaner game played by both these teams. And I mentioned it during this broadcast and last week's broadcast. Both these teams are very similar when you look at their offensive stats, averaging similar amount of points per game, yardage, rushing yardage, so on and so forth. However, their biggest difference is the defense for both teams, as the Dons have a much stronger defense. Their 17 points allowed per game on average is good enough for 11th in the state of California, and our opponents only average 200 yards per game, which is good enough for second place in the state of California. So this is a very aggressive and opportunistic defense here for Santa Ana College. However, the Roadrunners have been able to sneak by a few points. They've had a few things go their way, and they're in this game. It's 49-35, only a 14-point game. If they get a stop here or force the Dons to go for a field goal, they're still in this game compared to last week, where they were unable to capitalize on such defensive stops. But it's a huge hole for Jackson Smith, who cuts it outside on the near sideline and is brought down out of bounds at the 33. The Dons have over 500 total yards of offense now, And on the ground, the Dons now have 230 yards on 32 rushing attempts. That's 7 yards per rush. They're having their way with this front of the College of the Desert Roadrunners. Two backs in the backfield. They're going to motion Owen Smith out to the left side. Moss going to drop back. Roadrunners create some pressure, but Moss is going to step up. Wide open is King, and he underthrows his receiver. That's Myron West, who has his 4th interception on the season. So questionable decision there by Moss, as he was able to step up and avoid the pressure. He had all sorts of space if he wanted to take off and run. There's a holding penalty on the offensive line by the Dons. However, that penalty is declined by the Roadrunners. And as it stands, Myron West has the Roadrunners offense back on the field. Again, it was blown coverage. King was striding ahead of all the Roadrunner defenders. He had about 6 yards ahead of Myron West. But because Moss stepped up, he wasn't able to set his feet and make the strongest throw he could. He underthrew the receiver by about 3 to 4 yards, and that was just enough for Myron West to come up with an interception. We just mentioned it moments ago that there hadn't been a turnover all game. Well, that was the first one. As it's a run by Boswell, who shoots over on the right side, up the middle, and is brought down at the 41. So huge opportunity for Roadrunners to catch some momentum and swing things in their favor. 14 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Devontae Armstrong in the game now. The sophomore quarterback from North Las Vegas. He hands it off to Boswell once again, this time met in the backfield, but he does bring the pile with him for 3 yards as Dewantine Thomas makes the tackle, along with Blaze Iglesias. Both those two are in the game, along with Joseph Aborni. At linebacker, it's Christian Gabb, Baden Tanakawa, and Cole Miller. Jake Bento in at nickel corner, while Jason Curl and Evan Palladay are the 2 near side defensive backs. Markel Mitchell and Jason Curl are the 2 defensive backs on the far side. Boswell, the running back, moves over on the left side, and it's a pitch and catch from Armstrong to his receiver, Donovan Hartwell, the sophomore from the same high school. They both went to Cheyenne High School in North Las Vegas, connecting on that last reception. Good enough for a first down. Ball now at the Dons 49. They're going fast. Armstrong gets past the contain and is brought down off the 45-yard line. Because he did start to slide, they're going to mark him down at the 46. Roadrunners are moving with more pace here now on this drive. They're down by 2 scores. 49-35 is the score. 12:44 left to go in this 4th quarter. It's the Southern California Bowl between these 2 American Metro Conference teams. Armstrong looks to the right, overthrows his intended receiver, and he's lucky that one wasn't intercepted. There is a flag near midfield on this left hash. Intended receiver was Alvaro Zetino. And it's another roughing the passer penalty. And so we've seen now 2 roughing the passer penalties on both these teams. The Roadrunners did it early in the first half, which doesn't seem as costly as it does now for the Dons, who have done it twice now in the second half. 3 down linemen for the Dons. It's 1st and 10. Ball now placed at the Dons' 31-yard line. It's a swing pass over to the right side. Zetino gets past that first defender and runs out of bounds at the 28. If the Roadrunners get a score here, it would be a 7-point game. So College of the Desert trying to capture momentum on their side. 12:18 left to go in the 4th quarter. They had a huge interception just moments ago. It's a quarterback design draw. Armstrong muscles his way down to the 23-yard line. Not going to be enough for a first down. He's about a yard short of the sticks. But a 3rd and very manageable coming up for College of the Desert. Christian Gabb going to check out of the game. Armstrong in the game with Boswell, the deep back behind him. 2 receivers to each side of Armstrong. It's a handoff to Boswell. No, Armstrong keeps it over on the right side and gets dragged down at the 16-yard line. Little extracurricular activity between Elijah Sadler and the receiver over on that far side, Latrell Joseph. If you saw Sadler throw the towel that Joseph was wearing. No flag was thrown as it's 1st and 10. The Roadrunners are now in red zone territory. It's a speed option play. Armstrong pitches it to Boswell. Boswell lowers the shoulder and is lucky to get maybe a yard on this play. As the referees blow the whistle dead because Baden Tanakawa lost his helmet, so he's going to have to come out for a play. Ethan Arona in the game at linebacker. It's Andrew Martinez who's going to check in, the freshman from Esperanza. Haven't called his name a whole lot this season. Cole Miller also in the game at linebacker, along with 3 down defensive linemen. It's big Blaze Iglesias in the middle. The Dons decide to bring 4. This throw is behind Valentino, thanks to the pressure brought by Iglesias and company. So 3rd down and 9. Pass was intended for Frankie Valentino in the slot position on the right side. You don't have to get all 9 yards back here if you're the Roadrunners. You can call a play that gets you about 4 to 5, and then you can go for it on a very manageable 4th down. So we'll see what they draw up here. 3 down defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. They're going to bring some pressure. They toss it out to Boswell. Boswell gets out past the tackle and is brought down at the 12-yard line. So it looks like they had similar thinking to what I just said. Now it's a very manageable 4th and 3, 4th and they're going to mark him down actually at the 13-yard line. So 4th and about 5. Yard to gain is the 8th. 10:20 left to go in the 4th quarter. Armstrong getting the signs from his sideline. Boswell in the backfield on the left side. Valentino's the slot receiver over on the right. 4th and 6 coming up for the Roadrunners. Armstrong decides to take off. He bursts ahead, gets past the first defender, keeps the feet moving, and gets past the 5. He's now brought down finally at the 2-yard line. So he not only has enough for a 1st down, but the Roadrunners are now 2 yards away from the end zone. So nice heads-up play there by Armstrong, turning something out of nothing. They're going to make a mass substitution here, as it looks like they're going to bring in more big bodies in for this 1st and goal. Ball on the own 2. Jelani Brown into the game at that fullback position. They're also bringing in Raymond Benjamin at the tight end. He's over on the right side. They're going to hand it off to the fullback who just checked in. That's Brown. Jelani Brown has the touchdown for the Roadrunners, and it's now a 1-score game pending the extra point. It's a 2-yard touchdown for Jelani Brown. We saw him a little bit in the 1st half, but primarily played fullback. Didn't get any handoffs, and on his first handoff of the game, he punches it in from 2 yards out. 9:24 left to go in the 4th quarter. Dylan Armendariz to attempt the point after. Snap is good. Pressure late in his face. And he's still able to convert the PAT. Nice little flop there. As it's now 49-42. It's a 7-point game. Things have swung in the favor of the Roadrunners the last few drives. In case you missed it, the Dons had the ball and were driving past the 40-yard line of the Roadrunners. It was Beck Moss who stepped up in the pocket, had a wide open King in the end zone. However, his throw was about 3 to 4 yards short. Cornerback Myron West, the freshman, made a huge interception, and that allowed the Roadrunners to have the ball. Most importantly, they kept the Dons off the scoreboard, and it's now a 7-point game with 9:24 left to go. We saw on the last kickoff attempt, they did go for an onside. Mauricio Lopez was the one who did it last time. He's also into the game now, so something to keep in mind. They're all huddled up at or around the 36-yard line as they now break the huddle. We'll see what side they decide to go towards. The ball is on the right hash. They do have 6 players over on that right side, so they're going to elect to go to the short side towards the Roadrunners sideline. And the Roadrunners are going to take a timeout. So that's one of their 3 timeouts here in the second half. That could come up costly. As 9:24 left to go. Reminder, you are watching Don's football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. A reminder, your broadcast has been brought by our new media sponsor, Cal Empire Engineering. Cal Empire has been one of the biggest supporters of Santa Ana College Athletics for the last few seasons. They're a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal drilling solutions. For more information, please visit calempire.com. So it looks like Mauricio Lopez is going to check out of the game, and Dylan Armerender is going to check back into the game. Now he's lined up to kick this ball deep. The Dons have 5 down players at the 45 or hovering around the 45. It's a high pooch kick over to the far sideline. Fair caught at the 12 by Elijah Sadler. They're actually going to mark him down at the 15. So again, another favorable spot for the Dons offense. And that's where Dallin Eggman and the Dons offense will start this next possession. So that's one of the rules that they've changed in college football over the past couple years. If you fair catch a ball that's inside the 20, the ball is automatically placed at the 25-yard line. Nice heads-up decision there by Sadler. Decent starting field position for the Dons. Eggman in at quarterback after Moss threw that interception on their last drive. It's a handoff to Owen Smith, and they just got to keep it on the ground and feed the freshman running back as he fights for a 16-yard gain. The freshman from El Medina High School weaves his way over on the left side. He's a little slow to get up. We'll see if he stays into this game as he limps. Now going to limp off the field. William Saucedo was in the game at that time. They're now going to put Jackson Smith and Saucedo in the backfield. Washington and Pierce, the 2 receivers on the right side, as King is the lone receiver on the far sideline. 1st and 10 for the Dons. Ball on their 42-yard line. Handoff to Smith. Smith runs into a wall. Good penetration there. First man to meet him was Isaac Barranco. Gain of still 2 yards. They're actually going to give him 3 yards as he gets all the way to the 45 off forward progress. Another favorable spot for the Dons. 8:26 left to go. If the Dons score here a touchdown on this drive, that would make things very hard for the Roadrunners to come and climb back in it. Eggman trying to go hard count. Now going to let some more time chew off the clock as there's 10 seconds now off the play clock. They get some audibles from the sideline. Eggman now ready to take this snap. He hands it off to Owen Smith. Again, no, that's William Saucedo who gets to the 50-yard line. 3rd and 2 coming up. Roadrunners need this stop. If not on this 3rd down, they need to do so on the next set of downs, as now William Saucedo going to limp off the field. They had just pulled off Owen Smith. Owen Smith tried to run back onto the field. He's now going to sub out. And now they're going to call timeout. The Dons had a lot of confusion there. Owen Smith just ran off the field 2 plays ago. William Saucedo, after that last handoff, had to limp off the field. They decided to run out Amari Hart, but as Amari Hart was running out there, so was William Saucedo. No, was Owen Smith. And Owen Smith was told to get off, and then Amari Hart thought he was getting off. So just all kinds of confusion. And instead of rushing a play call there, the Dons decide to take a timeout. Now both teams have 2 timeouts remaining with 7:35 left to go. This is the Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Both teams are huddled up with their coaches near their sidelines. It's a big 3rd down here. 3rd and 2 coming up for the Dons. The ball is on midfield, and the Roadrunners need a stop in the worst of ways. I was going to say look out for number 99, but he's not on the field. Big Christian Verdun, who made plays in this game and last game for the defensive front. He's not in the game right now. It's Owen Smith who takes the handoff and fights for a 4-yard gain to the 45 of the Roadrunners. So it's a first down for the Dons. And there's a chance to chew off about 3.5 more minutes on this next set of downs. If they get another first down in 3 plays, that could wrap things up for the Roadrunners. All the Roadrunner offense can do is sit and watch from their sideline, hoping that their defense can come up with a key stop here. There's no reason for the Dons to pass the ball as they hand it off to Jackson Smith. Jackson Smith bounces outside, outruns the defender of the Roadrunners, and is pushed and dragged down at the 24-yard line. 6:50 now left in the game. It's a big run there by Jackson Smith, and he made the smart decision to stay in bounds. Nice job by the sophomore running back. Owen Smith back in the game with the Dons as the offense looks to the sideline for the play calls. 9 seconds left on the play clock. Still plenty of time. Pierce, the lone receiver here on the near sideline. Eggman going to hand it off to Owen Smith. Owen Smith, again, big hole up the middle, running behind the center and right guard that time. That's Albitar and Fonseca. Now William Saucedo going to check back into the game. Glad to see that his injury isn't enough to keep him out of this game. Just under 6 minutes left to go, 5:50 to be exact. 20 seconds left on the play clock. Ball on the right hash. Dons are in the red zone. 2nd down and 3. It's a handoff to Saucedo. Saucedo puts his shoulder pad level down, drives the pile forward to the 10. So at this pace, not only the Dons might come up with a touchdown, but they can also eat up about 2.5 more minutes and really bury the Roadrunners and any chance that they had to get back into this game and tie things up. Washington and King are the 2 receivers over on the left side. Don't expect any passes from the Dons coming up soon. To hand off to Owen Smith. Owen Smith stays true to his blocks, get past an arm tackle, and he's in the end zone for 6. It's an 11-yard touchdown run from the freshman running back. And with 5 minutes left to go, that lead is back to 13 points. 55-42 is the score, pending the extra point. Huge run there by Owen Smith, who took the handoff up the middle, was patient, waited for his blockers to get downfield to the next level. And there was a wimpy arm tackle that tried to bring him down, holding on to his ankle, but he was able to power through, keep that knee drive going, and he punches it in for 6. With that extra point, it is now a 56-42 game. Everything and anything is working for this Dons offense. They now have 717, yes, 717 total yards of offense in today's game, 406 yards through the air, and 311 yards on the ground. They ran a total of 72 plays for 717 yards. So the Dons really having their way with this Roadrunners defense. The offense has done pretty good for the Roadrunners. However, this defense unable to come up with any sort of stop to allow their offense to get back into this game. And with 5 minutes left to go, things become a little bit more unmanageable for the Roadrunners. They're going to have to score quickly and hope for an onside kick. Again, things can happen late, but it needs to be a little bit more magic on the Roadrunners side. As Hotchkiss has the ball lined up at the 35-yard line. Boswell and Zatino back deep to return. It's a short kick to Rabin, the lineman, who takes it at the 34-yard line and gets all the way to the 41. So not only does he have 1 kick return in his career, he can now brag that and say that the left guard has 2 kick returns. I believe if you do the math, I think he has 10 total kick return yards. So good for Adrian Rayburn, who plays left guard You'll see him wearing number 58 for the Roadrunners offensive line. And wow, so they're going to call a chop block, a block below the waist. And it's a 15-yard penalty, so set them back to the 25-yard line. As the Roadrunners will try and get some points rather quickly. With 5 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in this game, it's Devontae Armstrong, who's only thrown the ball for 10 yards. It's a fake pass as they toss it out to Boswell. Boswell gets it ahead to Valentino. Valentino ahead of the Elijah Sadler, the Dorner in coverage. He tries to rip the ball away. Valentino's still going. Passes the 20 and is brought down at the 16-yard line. So some trickery there as Armstrong tosses it to Boswell. Boswell throws it to Valentino, and he was all by himself. The throw did slow him down a little bit as he wasn't able to outrun cleanly. Sadler went for the strip there instead of just going for the tackle, and that allowed Valentino to get about 5 more yards at the end of that run. Ball is on the 16, so just like that, the Roadrunners get a huge play there, are back in red zone, and they hand it off to Abdullah. Abdullah off the left side, powers his way through, lowers the shoulder on Markel Mitchell, and is down at the 8-yard line. Second down and short coming up, 4:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. Armstrong looking for the plays over from the sideline. Every second here matters here as far as getting the plays in, trying to score as quickly as possible. Desert does have 2 timeouts, but I don't think you want that Dons offense back on the field, so they do need a little bit of that onside kick magic. As Armstrong going to run off the right tackle, outrun Serrano, but he's not going to outrun Ethan Arona, who makes the tackle for loss down at the 11-yard line. Loss of 2 on the play. Good penetration there by Serrano, which set up Arona for the tackle for loss. And now we'll see what the Roadrunners do here on this 3rd and 4. Valentino switches sides over to the left side now. It's Zettino and Mickelson, the 2 receivers, over on the right side. Brown, the fullback, over on the left side. They're going to look right, swinging out to the running back. Abdullah makes the corner miss and is brought down at the 1. So juked Sadler out of his shoes. However, he can't punch it in. Good hustle there by Cole Miller. And it looks like Evan Palladay. The 2 were able to chase Abdullah down. 3 minutes left to go now in the fourth quarter. Ball at the 1-yard line. It's a fake handoff to Abdullah. And the Dons defense swarms Armstrong, prevents him from getting into the end zone. He's now at the half-yard line. 2:45 left to go in this game. And it looks like there's a player down injured on this near side. It's Evan Palladay. Looked like he tried to run off the field. He might be cramping as he takes a seat at the 3-yard line. Regardless if the cramp is real or not, both teams will get a little breather here. A chance for the College of the Desert Roadrunners to talk things over. Potentially an exciting finish brewing here, which could all come down to an onside kick. Again, it's 56-42 in favor of the Dons. .243 left to go in the game. Dons lead by 14. Ball on the half-yard line. I can't even say the 1 because that's how close the nose of the football is to the goal line. Jumbo set here as there's 2 fullbacks ahead. It's Armstrong who takes the snap under center. Looked like he got initial push. However, no referee has marked that he's in the end zone. Didn't think he could get any closer. However, they're going to have to do it again now. 3rd and goal from the half-yard line. And they're going to take an official timeout as Jared Zamora, who was in on the stop, lost his helmet and has to come out for a play. I would assume that Armstrong and the offense is going to do that play again or something similar. We'll see if the Dons defense can hold. 3rd and goal, they hand it off to Brown. Brown keeps the feet moving, and now he pushes ahead. His 2nd touchdown of the evening. And this is back to a 7-point game pending the extra point. So plenty of offense here in this bowl game, the finale for both these teams. And Dylan Armendariz will attempt the very important point after attempt. 2:18 left to go in the fourth quarter. And I'm assuming we would be seeing an onside kick. Both these two teams do have 2 timeouts remaining. The field goal kick is blocked. So in a very important point lost there by Armendariz. That was Ethan Arona. That was Blaze Iglesias. That was Joseph Aborni, all penetrating through that left side. Huge point after block. So now it's an 8-point game. And if the Roadrunners do get the ball back and score, they're going to have to go for a 2-point conversion and convert in order to tie things up. Can't take anything for granted here at this level, whether it be a point after attempt, an onside kick, or even, like we saw earlier, a simple gimme interception. We've seen it all here this season, but we've seen it all here in this game as the Roadrunners and the Dons are here in a nail-biter. It's the Southern California Bowl here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. 2:18 left to go in this game. This onside kick is pretty much going to decide the winner of this game, as Mauricio Lopez can't get the big hop that he needs, and Gabriel Magana recovers the ball at the 45, and that's where the Dons will continue this next drive. And potentially, they just have to play keep away for 2 more minutes and 18 seconds. Eggman going to come back out into the game. Owen Smith and Saucedo are the 2 running backs as the team now huddles up. And if they get 1 first down, that'll do it. So the Roadrunners desperately need a stop in the worst of ways. They have 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers. They decide to walk up a few, and Owen Smith busts out on the left side. He stops his feet at the 38. It was a nice job there as his momentum was taking him towards out of bounds, so he does stop. It did look like he could have got the first down and still stayed in bounds. However, still a good heads-up decision there by him. 2:07 left to go. They're actually going to put 4 more seconds left on the clock. 2:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 4 coming up. Again, want to say thank you to all those who are tuning in, and also want to say thank you to our sponsor, Cal Empire Engineering. They've been a big supporter of Santa Ana College athletics the past few seasons and are also a leader in all facets of underground construction, specializing in horizontal directional drilling solutions. For more information, please visit calempire.com. There's been plenty of fireworks in today's game. On a Sunday evening here in November, the Southern California Bowl, the Dons, if they hang on to win this game, will advance to 9-2. Their best season under head coach Anthony White, who couldn't be here with this team on the sideline tonight. As Eggman on 2nd down and 4 hands it off to Saucedo. Saucedo met at the 35, but he did keep the feet moving. I don't know if he got enough to get the first down. Let's see where they spot him. Nope. That far sideline referee says move those chains, and that should do it. With 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, the Dons have a fresh set of downs, and the Roadrunners only have 1 more timeout remaining. You can hear the frustration in the booth next over with the Roadrunner coaching staff. As it's now 1st and 10. Eggman, with 10 seconds left on the play clock, going to do his best job to wind as much clock as he can. It's a handoff to Saucedo, who bounces it out to the outside and is brought down at the 33. 1:28 left to go. And there is a timeout called by the Roadrunners. So I believe it's 30-second play clocks. And if you do the math, because it is 2nd down and 9, if the Roadrunners do get the ball back, it would be less than potentially, I want to say less than 15 seconds left on the clock, and that's if the Dons don't go for a field goal and extend this lead to a 11-point game. Ball is currently at the 33-yard line. Just over a minute left to play, 1:29 to be exact. The Dons have a 56 to 48 point game. It was all Dons in the first half, however, in the first quarter. However, the Roadrunners were able to climb back and make this a 28 to 25 game at halftime. Then it was all Dons in the third quarter. However, the Roadrunners were able to claw back in and make this a game in the fourth quarter. So props to the Roadrunners for continuing to fight when they easily could have rolled over. Again, these are two of the better teams in the American Division. Nice tackle there by Jermaine Stewart Jr. However, they're not going to be able to stop the clock. However, there is an injury. So there is an official's timeout. And I believe because it's an injury and the Roadrunners don't have a timeout left, they might be faced with a 10-second runoff. Because even if the injury is real or not, the Roadrunners could fake a player to get injured each time and each snap, and that would stop the clock and play in favor of the Roadrunners. That was a loss of 2 on that last down. So things aren't quite over yet, folks, with a minute 19 left to go. 56 to 48 is the score in favor of the Dons. Looks like that's big number 89, Callum Armstrong, the freshman from La Quinta High School, down on the ground. We hope he's all right. He was the one who initially created good penetration, and it was Owen Smith who had to try to dance around him, but Jermaine Stewart from the linebacker position was able to rally and tackle him from behind. So it looks like Armstrong is able to walk off under his own power with a little bit of assistance from 2 training staff members. Again, clock does stop. It's 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11 coming up. 1:19 left to go in the fourth quarter here at the Southern California Bowl. It's a matchup between the Santa Ana Dons and the College of the Desert Roadrunners. You hear lots of cheers here from the Santa Ana sideline. Pretty good turnout. Maybe the most fans we've seen here since the homecoming week when they took on LA Valley. That game ended in a 7-3 victory for the Dons. 3rd and 11, you still don't have to pass the ball if you're the Dons. However, if you want to roll the dice, you could. The clock does continue to roll. 18 seconds left on the play clock, 55 seconds left on the game clock. So it looks like they're going to have to snap this with at least about 40, maybe 39 seconds left on the game clock. Eggman looking to time up the snap just right. It's a handoff to Owen Smith. The Roadrunners were selling out. And it looks like that'll do it. There is an injured player. And again, looks like the Roadrunners are trying to play that injured game to stop the clock. But there's 32 seconds left on the game clock, and there's 40 seconds left on the play clock. So as soon as they get the green light to start this, it should be game. There's 2 injured players, both Keyshawn Butler over here on the near side corner. I don't think he's really injured. He had nothing to do with that last play. However, there is a player down at the bottom of the pile. Can't see a number. But it just seems like too much of a coincidence that 2 players got injured when they need to stop the clock and have no more timeouts. It's Jermaine Stewart Jr. as the Dons continue to celebrate here on the sideline, meaning that they have secured a victory once this clock starts rolling. It was a valiant effort again by the Roadrunners. However, they will come up just short. 56 to 48 is the score. So there'll be 22 seconds left. I don't think the Dons need to snap the ball once again. The Roadrunners are on the field as if they need to run another play. As the Dons players continue to hug each other on the sidelines. And because there's 40 seconds left on the play clock, that will do it, folks. Again, Thanks for tuning in to another matchup of Dons football here on the Santa Ana College Athletics YouTube channel in conjunction with SportsNetUSA.net. Your Dons come out victorious by a score of 56-48 here in the Southern California Bowl. For myself, Noah Alvarez, and everyone who helped with the broadcast, Cami Lewis, Maya, Alyssa, Sal, and Mario, the cameraman, and to everyone at SportsNetUSA.net, Ed Ford, Corey, Mark, and Ryan Osborne, thanks for tuning in to another edition of Dons Football. We wish you guys a safe night, and we'll see you guys next season.